any modifiers for the number of players in the game, which there isn't actually, right? There's no modifiers.
I don't believe so. No.
Yeah.
What do you mean by modifiers?
Oh,
well,
right.
Diablo
monsters
3
won't scale with number of players.
I'm pretty sure that
they will.
Oh, they are?
No.
Okay.
Of course. I mean, no. If you have 4 people unleashing, 4 attacks at the same time, and the monster has the same HP as if one player is doing it, 4 people will just steamroll through the whole game.
Right, which is what they were saying. You're gonna kill stuff faster, which is why they're not scaling drops.
Wait, no,
yeah, but no. The monster scale based on players. That just has to be. That just has to be how it works.
I think Frozen is right. I think they did say that. But they just said the drops aren't scaling. I'm pretty positive.
Drops don't scale. I don't think. I mean,
yeah.
you might be killing things faster, and so you get
Right, which is why they weren't scaling drops, because you could potentially have more chance of getting better items because there will be more drops.
Yeah. So, wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I really don't think that they will be forcing grouping. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't think it's going to happen. I definitely think it will be, physically possible, however long it could take to actually clear Inferno as an individual. I think it'll be a possibility, but it's again one of those things that we just don't know, and we actually won't even know during the beta. We're not going to know that till release because beta is going to be so lacking in content. All right, well those are really the biggest things from Gamescom. There wasn't too much else. There was the artwork that was there.
That was sweet.
Yeah, there was it was Rudolph Plotz, and they basically did some kind of 3D looking artwork. If you stand at a certain angle, it actually looks like Diablo's coming up out of the ground, or was it Diablo? Who was that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea what that is.
I'm just gonna point out that Diablo had 4 arms and looked a hell of a lot like Mephisto / Diablo.
Don't encourage Cyber. He isn't even here.
Yeah, some people have been complaining. It's funny the things people decide to complain about, but some people have been complaining that Diablo in that artwork looked a little frail. I mentioned earlier talking to you guys that maybe he just hasn't eaten anything in a while. He's gone on a diet. Who knows? There's all sorts of possibilities. I mean, that is Diablo though. That's most certain. That's him. That's his face from all the artwork that we've seen, and yeah, he's just a little teeny. That's all.
A little lore tidbit here. I mean, I think you all know Cyber's proposed theory that Diablo is going to possess Leia because he's possessing a female. He has a more feminine body.
Actually, that's kind of clever.
Yeah, I know it's kind of clever. I mean, from a story perspective, I guess I have. Or from a story, not as in a lore, but as a story perspective, I don't have a problem with it. But I just don't dig the whole possess humans thing anymore. Can't we just skip the possessing humans now? I mean, we're done with that. We possessed in Diablo 1, we possessed in Diablo 2. Now we should just be like regular Diablo.
Be your own demon. Don't go possessing people. Just be your own demon. pretty cool stuff.
That's the name of the podcast.
Yeah, be your own demon. All right. So lastly, the last really kind of news topic here is going to be the writing contest. This is going to be the 2011 Blizzard Global Writing Contest. It's taking place right now. Do we have an end date for it? It looks like September the 18th is the end date.
Yep.
And what they're looking for is short.
Can you
go ahead?
You said September 18th, but it says October 15th on the Blizzard page.
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. October what?
October 15th.
Let's see.
So I guess it's October 15th.
Submissions are. Tyler says submissions are due the 18th of September. Let's check the FAQ.
What does he know anyways? Well, while he's checking that, what they're looking for are short stories. It's going to be 2,500 to 7,500 words in length, and you can cover any of their franchises, and basically this is going to be submitted to them, whatever the submit date is. Kevin's checking that out, and it's a contest, as stated. It's a global writing contest.
Maybe it changed. I don't know, because, I don't know where Tyler got that date. Contest period. Contest shall commence August 15th and shall continue in the duration until October 15th.
All right, well, there you go. So
yep.
you have until the 15th. Now, grand prize is going to win a trip to Blizzard headquarters, at which point you're actually going to be meeting up with some of the Blizzard writing staff. You'll receive the Doom Hammer by Epic Weapons. I don't even know what that is. What's the Doom Hammer? Is that it's a hammer.
Nice. It's a real-life replica of the Doom Hammer.
That is badass. I hope it's weighted properly as well. That'd be amazing. In addition to that, you'll be receiving the StarCraft archive, the Diablo and Warcraft archives, and as well. So this is basically going to be the book series.
And will be signed by Metzen and the creative development team also.
Yeah, and that's the grand prize. The biggest, obviously, draw to that is being able to go to Blizzard headquarters and meet up with the staff. And then there's going to be 7 runners-up, and they're also going to receive the books. They won't get that trip to Blizzard HQ, however. So pretty cool. If you are a talented writer, go ahead and send in your submission, and you may very well win. All right, so that does it. Why don't we go ahead and jump now into the poll of the week?
Just a quick note.
Damn it, Frozen.
Both 2009 and 2010, Warcraft fanfiction won. So we need to get some Diablo fanfiction in this year. It's our time.
Frozen, why don't you write something for that?
Do it.
Why don't you write about Diablo?
Diablo, the death of Diablo. Maybe I will.
Too funny. All right, well, let's go ahead and then now, finally, no more interruptions, hop into this week's poll. All right, so for last week's poll, we asked you guys what type of Diablo gear were you looking to get. There was some reveal of some upcoming Diablo gear. There was the Barbarian belt, the Mistress of Pain socks, the Demon Hunter coat, and the Tyrael hoodie. And it looks like the hoodie did prevail, coming out with 60% of the votes. I'm very disappointed that you guys didn't all pick the Barbarian belt. That is clearly the most badass, but you can be little fairy angels if you want.
Mighty angels.
Tyrael is the man. I'm not gonna doubt that. But come on, Barbarian. You guys are killing me. All right, so Kevin, why don't you go ahead and give them this week's poll? Oh, I think you muted, Kevin.
Hello?
Oh, dang. I hit twice. So, like, I unmuted and then muted again. That was dumb. All right, anyway. So, this week's poll, we want to know what kind of endgame you guys would like to see, assuming you don't think Inferno is the endgame. No, because, I mean, that's an option, too, so whatever. So, Dennis actually just brought this up while we were talking about the poll. An infinite dungeon. So, basically something like... not really Torchlight, because the entire game is just a dungeon, but something like a timed dungeon, and you just run through it, and then whatever you can get the best time is, and we can set up some kind of achievement system for that, which I think is an awesome idea. The next option is Horde mode, which we've all been talking about in kind of a PvP arena sense, but it would definitely be something awesome to do. Pandemonium events, for example, Diablo Clone and Uber Tristram from Diablo 2, so something along those lines, you know, unique boss battle sort of thing. Unicorn level, which everybody wants, and I'm assuming everybody's going to vote for, so I guess we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And then the last option will be you think that Inferno's good enough for the Diablo 3 endgame and you don't need anything else. And then I guess technically there's one more option that's other. If you have a different idea, feel free to vote for other and then post your idea in the comments.
The last option is actually Molten Core. Yes, that will be.
The funny thing is, I had that originally.
That will be Diablo 3's endgame. All right, so to go ahead and vote for this week's poll, head on over to DiabloFans.com, log into your account, and you will be able to vote. And then, lastly, we will be moving into some of the user questions. We'll be pulling this from the Facebook fan page. Every week, basically, before we start the podcast early in the day, we ask you guys for some questions, and let's get some of those answered. So the first question here that I will be taking is from Alexander, and Alexander asks, do you think that difficulties before Inferno will be deserted, something similar to low-level zones of World of Warcraft, hard to find people to play with? Well, certainly, later down the road, after the game's been out, we're 6 months to a year, many people will have fully maxed characters, and as such, they'll be playing through Inferno, or whatever other endgame we eventually end up seeing throughout patches and whatever. With that said, people love alts, and we will be seeing alternate characters. Maybe a little less frequent in Diablo, and that's actually a concern by some people, given the fact that there are no, skill points. People are saying there's less of a reason to have alts now, but Respecs made that just as true as well, in my personal opinion. But either way, I don't think it'll be impossible to find people to play with, and I think people will want to level alternate characters just for fun, and also keep in mind that there's 2 different modes, there's hardcore and softcore, so you could also have that option to play with people in the lower levels as well. If even if if I have a softcore barbarian, that doesn't mean I'm not going to make a hardcore one as well. So it's just lots of options for people to be playing through the game, even though the game's been out for a while. Let me just take one more look. I believe that there's a good second question over here. here. I'll just take this one. This is kind of a fun question. Kyle asks, what part of Diablo 3 are you guys most excited about? In all honesty, with the recent announcement, I'm going to have to say Inferno. I am really excited to see how difficult that's going to be, so definitely looking forward to that. All right, well, why don't we go to you next, Frozen? Do you have any questions that you would like answered here?
Yes, we have one from Aaron, who asks, do you think the story of Diablo will end after this? And expansions on D3 don't count. But do you think any games pertaining to this universe will happen afterwards, like World of Warcraft or Diablo 4? And Blizzard has said in the past that Diablo 3 is the end of this story arc that began in Diablo 1 and now ends in Diablo 3, with the brothers being banished to Sanctuary and the Wanderer and the World Stone and all this. So this current conflict with the three primevals will end with Diablo 3. And what that actually means is a bit unclear. A lot of people think it means that the primevals will die. Some people think it means they'll come back in some other form. It's not really clear. But Blizzard, or Jay Wilson at least, has said that they want to expand on the universe after Diablo 3 in some way. It's just not going to be the same story arc.
The world of Diablocraft is coming.
World of Sanctuary, there you go.
Coming. It's coming eventually. All right, and how about you, Kevin? Any questions on your end?
I actually saw a couple on expansions as well from Jesus and Maiko, although I guess this is asking about scythe-wielding class. I guess he's asking if there's going to be a scythe-wielding class in an expansion, which I guess we don't really know, although I don't really see any reason to. Although I guess it would be kind of cool, like Grim Reaper.
A whirling dervish is what we need.
Well, I mean, the Necromancer was kind of he was supposed to be a scythe guy. I mean, but there were no good skills or no good scythes. I mean, they were in the game, but they kind of sucked. But it would have been really cool to have like a character with a, that could actually be built around a scythe. I'd like that.
I wanted to comment on the possibility of expansions because, I mean, obviously the first game hasn't come out yet, but I've seen some people saying, well, how can we have expansions if Inferno is going to be already higher than our level? At that point, Inferno is going to be lower than us, because, I mean, assuming they increase the level cap. And, I mean, my response to that was, hey, let's just add another difficulty. We can call it Supernova and make them level 71. 71 levels, 71 monsters, and make the level cap 70. Boom. It's fixed. Now you don't have to worry about scaling anything else. It's just nice and simple. And I just had to throw that out there, too.
Thanks.
Supernova.
Alright, I actually have a legit question here. Ward wants to know how the reviving system works. If it's still implemented, is it instant, or does it work like the Stone of Recall? Actually, and I guess you're gonna have to help me answer this, Dennis. So basically, once you die, the screen kind of turns red. You get a 10% durability loss.